Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Trinity podcast. Not powered by Dangor anymore. Episode 3131.
Oh, shit.
I don't even know who it was.
And it wasn't even like a bomb. It was like just a little bit of a fire. Like a little bit of aftermath.
Yeah. Because it was like, it was plucked in.
Yeah.
It was a DR set.
It went the real one. Big up, people. Smash the like on the video, man. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let us know how you're feeling. It's another Trinity podcast, and it is obviously always going to be flames and smoke. That's what it is. But before we get into this video has been brought to you by Surfshark. Yes, people, this video is brought to you by Surfshark VPN, the safest and most secure way to be browsing the net, as well as getting access to all of the perks that Surfshark have to offer. You get 24/7 customer care. You get your 30-day money-back guarantee. If you use it for 30 days and it's not for you, money back guaranteed. You can't say fairer than that. Your whole household can also stay connected and also can be secure on the OWEN VPN. That is fantastic. And as for me, listen, I use this all the time with the amount of traveling that we do following United, so many different countries. If I want to get onto my Sky Go, I want to get into my TNT app or Amazon Prime or Netflix, sometimes you can't do it because it says you're not in the UK. No problem with Surfshark VPN. Get on there, change your location, change it to anywhere in the world. Over 3,200 different servers, so there's enough to pick from. To get involved, use the link in the video description below with United View as well, and that will give you access to this great deal. There's so many perks that you can get. Also, price discrimination. Ever been trying to get tickets for that concert that you want to go to? You know, airplane tickets to go fly somewhere. Well, guess what? You change your location on there and the price discrimination doesn't affect you because you could be buying your tickets from, say, India once you change your location. Also, the public Wi-Fi dangers as well, because you're keeping yourself safe with the top software from Surfshark that make sure that you don't get your viruses, people aren't hacking into what's going on, and you are safe and secure. Get involved. Link is in the video description below. Shout out to the sponsor, Surfshark. You guys know what to do. Link is in the video description below for everything you need, and all the info is there.
Surfshark, by the way.
It's wicked. It's wicked.
Yeah, I've been using it for like two years plus.
Yeah, it's a very essential part of you know what we do,
and what I do and stuff, and traveling. Yeah, it's just a good thing to have, and then I can watch Netflix. I like to watch
the Americans and that.
Netflix, wicked.
So much. They just give them a big treat. Like compared to
ridiculous what they get versus what we got. We got the no frills, bro.
Yeah, you find out the sort of complexities of sort of international broadcast agreements when you use like a Surfshark or whatever. You go, I'm actually in this country, can't have that show because it's on some other network or whatever. It's on this TV broadcast. But when you got Surfshark, it's in your hands. Do what you want, mate. It's in the palm, right there. Watch what you want.
Been loads of times I need to use my Sky Go and that. Obviously, when you're not in the UK, can't do it. It says nope, not allowed. Get on my Surfshark, mate. Change my location to UK. I'm in. Do you know what I mean? Catch up on whatever it is you need to catch up on, whether it's watching football or Love Island or whatever apps. You know, Channel 4 app.
Love Island. I mean,
yeah,
really
might be like Love Island.
Sometimes
might be a Married at First Sight.
Absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah,
so you might have to do it.
It might be them. Might be one of those shows. So might be only Fools and Horses on UK Gold, mate. Leave my package. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, he was. I was on the phone to Flex the other day, and he was driving, and he went, "What's that?" He went, "That looks like a van from Only Fools and Horses. I might pull over. I might have to have my picture taken next to it." Just literally, conversation. He was like, "I got stuff. I got to pull over." I was thinking, "What's wrong?" And he was like, "There's a van. Only Fools and Horses. I might have to get a picture."
What was it called? The Robin?
Reliant Robin.
Yeah,
it was there, bro. Just in some big car park. I don't know who's, obviously wouldn't have been the originals. Too priceless, that is, to just be in some random car park. But they did it up good. I wanted to take a picture, but they have time. So, favorite ever show in it. What can I say? Ever made. My favorite thing ever in the world. So yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I think Keeping Up Appearances is more funnier than that. Sure,
it's not more funny than
that. And then BK.
Yeah, that's wicked. That's probably my top. It's in my top 5 of UK. Hyacinth 3K is wicked.
Hyacinth, bro.
Onslow in them, man.
Onslow and
and Rose.
What about
she couldn't drink the tea, bro. The next door neighbor that couldn't drink.
What about One Foot in the Grave?
Yeah, One Foot in the Grave was good.
No.
I'll tell you what, that one, the ending, spoilers, obviously, watch, but it's dark.
Yeah,
Very,
well,
very dark.
Spoilers. It was like 40 years ago.
Yeah,
spoil it for me, please. I don't know what happens.
dark. It turns not into a comedy, KG. All I will say is hit and run, poisoning, death. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say.
1 foot in the grave.
Yeah,
that's what it's about.
Yes.
Well, I think 1 foot in the grave is the fact that they're old. I think that's largely.
Yeah, they're nearly.
I don't think they were spoiling.
Dying with poison and all that.
Well,
stuff.
it just took a turn. It just the end of the last few episodes takes a turn.
We got some new writers on Channel 5, the people that burnt down the whole of Brookside or something. Anyway, let's get to work.
Yeah, let's talk football. Sorry, guys, let's talk football. Not average programs that you guys probably never heard.
Not average.
Well, not average actually.
Yeah,
way above average to be fair.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. What are you guys saying? How are we feeling going into this week? I'm saying that this is now the beginning to peep round the corner. This is the one where you can like the Palace now and so on and so forth in this batch of games. These are the games that will show us if we are beginning to turn a corner. Because even if we do get through this patch and it's good, it doesn't mean we're back. But I'm saying like Southampton and Barnsley, you're meant to mash them up. So it's like you don't really learn a lot. Palace away, Spurs home, Villa away. That's the next 3 Premier League games. And in between that, you've got FC20 and you've got Porto away. FC20 home and Porto away. So some tough challenges. Eric's basically smiling. Eric's telling us, listen, last year just had to throw a team together at certain points. Now, got man back. I can select from 18. It's different now. I've got my players. He told us last year, you don't know anything about football if you think that, you can have this much injuries and still do what you want to do. So all of that, this is fine. Rashi's smiling again, scoring some goals. Garnacho's chomping at the bit. We've got Ugarte in there now ready to go. De Ligt's coming off the back of a man of the match performance. Mazraoui looks comfortable. He said, wait till I get settled here 100%, mate. Gonna see even more. So there's a lot of positives there. And I don't want to shit on them positives. I'm using that. No, you can't. So I'm saying now, here is the feeling that are we gonna start looking around that corner?
Well, I'll jump in on this one and say, you still, obviously, we're a work in progress, right? So this is me with tempered expectation. But then at the same time, this is why I was feeling excited about this season and with this manager, with the players that we have, because I always spoke about the bench. And in his first season, he got a lot of points from changing things. Like this season, now, if it happens again in his next game where the bench can provide goals, like usually if he changed something in his first season, he'd go to the bench and someone will come on and score. Now, if we can be a couple goals up before that person comes off the bench, it's a big difference. Another piece that we added, and you lot asked me, why am I still believing in the manager? Well, I kept on saying that I'm really like, while it hasn't happened yet, Lissandro and De Ligt's partnership, I expect it to be a special one. Like, that's the thing I'm really banking on. Because the best teams are built from the back, best teams are you can build something special with a strong defense. Now, if they just can concentrate on attacking and our back four is solid, and now we've added Ugarte to that. So we got a little bit of solidity. So now, if it's not working, if it's not going your way, we've already seen like how we've had a bit of strength and depth. We would have been crying last season if we lost Rasmus Højlund. It didn't matter. Like, and that's not a disrespect to Rasmus. It's the fact that, we have other players. It's the fact that, we have a Xerxes. Before, it was Rasmus Højlund and Martial. What do you do in that situation? You only got one player, really, because Martial can't give you nothing. This is the changes that we got now. You're going to go to the bench, and Eriksen's giving us food for thought. Mount in there is food for thought, Or the one player, if we can get Anthony, if we can have four wingers. No, if we can have four wingers, like really fighting for 2 spaces, now we're really now we're something to really think about. At the moment, we've got 3. So quickly, while it's really wonderful at the moment, it can kind of turn if we do lose.
Change really quick.
It can turn really quickly if we do lose, I don't know, Lakanu. If we do lose Ugarte, I think because there's no rule, the Casemiro replacement, I'm not really feeling it like that in the 6. If we lose the wingers, one winger, we're in a bit of a problem.
if we lose a fullback, we're in a big problem, aren't we? Because it's still Dallo and Mazraoui. That's it. That's all we've got. I mean, even against Barnsley, it was them getting substituted, wasn't it, for each other?
Yeah, that's how you know. Because he
knows. And Collie is the other one.
You not to stay fit,
literally. So it's like, okay, we'll take it steady. No, it's like with anything with being a Man United fan, isn't it? It's like you can't get too high and you can't get too low. And I think that's maybe what we've again had to learn throughout all of this is, look, if we lose against Palace, once again, what's it going to be? Disaster. Man United are in crisis again. We're in free fall. We're not that good. I told you this. I told you that. Point scoring. If we win, it's going to be, I told you so. We're not that bad. Point scoring. So I think I do expect us to win, actually. I think this is a really good game at a really good time for us, actually. Obviously, on the back of a couple of wins. I know that there's this really insistent pushback on it's only Barnsley, which is fine because, look, it is a League One side, but 7-0 is still 7-0. You still scored 7 goals. And the narrative of you didn't really get that much out of that game. You asked the players how they're feeling coming out of that game versus how they're feeling going into it. They would say, I'm feeling pretty good. I've scored some goals in the last few games. So there is an element of momentum there. I don't really subscribe to the thing of that it's got any sort of direct correlation towards the end of last season, because last season was a freak game in terms of, the people that were available, the position we were in at the time, position that Palace were in at the time too. It feels totally different at this point. Palace haven't won a game yet this season. We've had a bit of an indifferent start, but we're in a bit of decent form now. And we are now into that territory where we're playing every 3 days or so. And if you get it right, you can build up momentum really quickly when you play every 3 days. We saw that in Ten Hag's first season, didn't we? Because we were going far in the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Europa League, Premier League. Eventually, if you just start racking up wins against lesser sides or sides you should be beating, when the time comes to play a bigger team, you feel a bit better about yourself, don't you? And we're not even at that stage yet. We're just facing Palace away. No disrespect to them. But if we could go to Palace, where we haven't won in a couple of years, get that win, you can go, all right, that's not bad. You got Spurs next weekend, which again feels like it's a good time to play Spurs as well. And it's funny how things change when it comes to Spurs, because I remember this time last year, everyone was going, we should have got Ange at United. And get Ange at United. I can see the style of play. I can see this. Those same Spurs fans that were praising his style of play are pissing and moaning about the style of play now, saying the line's too high. And he doesn't understand Spurs. He doesn't understand the narrative.
He's too stubborn. He won't change.
And also, by the way, interestingly enough, the people that were saying Eric Ten Hag should come out and say that we're going to win things and we're going to come out and compete for things, and said the same thing of, I always win something in my second season. What's the immediate reaction? You're deluded, mate. You don't know what you're talking about, which just goes to show, doesn't it? Is that you got to be careful what you say in the media. Even if you're saying that to your players directly, we can win stuff. Sometimes you don't say it publicly because you look like an idiot. And you've got to be careful of how you
can't win that argument. You can't win that battle.
Not right then.
Not right then. The only man who can say that is Pep. Like that, where everyone just goes, okay. If Arteta, well, obviously factually he hasn't won stuff, but if he tried to do the whole, have that, I know I'm going to win, or where they'll go.
That's why Jose used to use it. That's why Jose used to use it all the time.
I'm going to add Ten Hag to the list.
Ten Hag, what? What do you mean?
He's always won. He's always won the trophy.
But he says it. He says it though.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to say, like, in his last, how many years is he? Last
5 years?
Yeah, I win. You know what I mean? And I don't know where he won in Australia, but then again, when you look at the Scottish League, Gerrard was the man there.
He's unbeaten. Only for a season.
Gerrard,
fucking invincible, mate.
Yeah,
invincible in Scotland, but then he was almost a relegation, like in this league. Like, he was terrible. And considering what the other guys got in there, and Emery went in there and used his players and got a tune, so it is what it is. I just find it interesting with the whole, that was the conversation. And remember, I was telling you lot back then, I said, all this style of play stuff, I hear it, but when you ain't won in how many games, style of play, remember it, I just want it to look good and I don't care. Like, as long as we look good, F off. It's
I
not
remember
true.
both saying that, didn't we? I remember us both saying at the time, going, "That's just, it's not
true.
It's not true.
Not true.
It's
You're
not.
like it's that Maslow hierarchy of needs, bro. You're at the first one, but there's more, bro. You're gonna ask about belonging. You're gonna go up there, and you're gonna need more. So you say
Food,
right now,
shelter,
you're
warmth.
gonna standard, and then
Water.
after, guess what? Guess what? Some of these Spurs fans are actually realizing there's no water. There's no we can't defend set pieces, and we did it with De Zerbi, and this club is a different type of club. If Spurs is eating that manager up and he's talking about assaulting online trolls and this, that, and the other, and
punch him on the nose, mate.
Yeah, punch him on the nose, mate. If you can times that at Man United, always times it by more, because you see how we're spoken about and how literally you're all right. If we're not going to lose to Crystal Palace, but if we were to drop points or something silly, it's going to be crisis again. We literally we're always a result away from a crisis.
Especially in this moment, because the two teams we've beat where we're going, there's a few smiles on faces. There's 10 goals in 2 games, haven't conceded, because it's Southampton and Barnsley respectively. This is where the team, though, this is where I don't think we should be afraid to we have to absolutely put the accountability onto the team, though, because they don't get to do the smiles against Barnsley and Southampton, 2 rubbish teams, clean sheet and that. And then you come up against a half decent outfit in Palace, who are not even cooking like they were last year. They haven't won a game this season. If Man United go there tomorrow and we ignite their season and they mash us up, to be fair, the criticism we would face, though, would actually be true, though, would be right. We can't shy away from that, because let's face it, we had a shit first 3 games where the performances were below par. We can get into how we lost against Brighton, blah, 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 but we lost, 2 L's, 1 win. We came out of that international break saying, we did turn this around. You beat 2 rubbish teams, which I'm not saying we shouldn't have took the positives from, but I'm just giving it, if we lost, then as soon as we came up against someone decent, we kickstarted their season. Eze was running riot. Nketiah scored. Rare mistakes. And I don't believe that's going to happen. But if it did, not that it should be crisis, but internally with our own thing, we have to then look at them again and go, boys.
No, Flex, there's no way to, but then there's no way to get this off. But then at the same time, the flip of it is, well, you know that good feeling that because let's talk about some of the goals as well. Marcus Rashford taking the finish the way he did. The confidence from, was it Southampton?
Yeah.
Went into the Barnsley game, absolutely. And that was kind of vintage Rashi. Takedown, fantastic. And he's on the right side as well. And into the net, he knew he's scoring that. But one thing that was another moment is, did Anthony's penalty happen before Rashi's goal?
No.
Second goal, wasn't it?
Second goal.
Yeah. Okay, but then even Rashi usually, I imagine, would be like, well, me getting a hat-trick as soon as possible would be fantastic. So yes, Anthony won it, but I'm the main penalty taker. The fact that he gave the ball to Anthony, knowing that I will get a chance and I will score again in open play, is impressive. You know, like that's someone that he knows he could do with goals. He's saying, let's raise the confidence of the whole team. I'm starting to get this new vibe, and I don't know if it's the Ten Hag with the Rennie. I can't remember the new
Rennie
Harker and Rude. But then there is the way we're playing using the wings. We're not wasting the ball the way we used to, you know, like cutting in. We're actually trying to find each other in the box. We're actually trying to assist each other, which I thought was a bit more selfish last season. Now they're looking for each other and trying to put another player in the best position. I'm loving what I'm seeing.
Did you see the video of there was a guy who was sitting literally, you know, the seats that are just behind the dugout?
Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah,
he was sitting there. He was the seat behind Eric, basically.
That's mental. That shouldn't really happen, should it?
And they shot it almost from it's like his perspective. And when Rashford scores, I think it might be the first goal, you see Ruud van Nistelrooy gets up, he sprints down the steps or whatever, because he's been working with him. And to go back to Flex's point, I suppose, the parameters for what we were looking for from this batch of games really hasn't changed. You know, so it's just so far they've ticked the boxes that we expected them to tick. But going into it, it was in this batch of games, you're going to have to be near enough perfect, we're thinking, because the start to the season hasn't been good. Now, so far, they have done that. But it's almost like, well, you can't go overboard with the praise because they haven't completed the task yet. You know, do you praise someone for beginning a task or do you praise someone for completing a task? You do a little bit of go, I'm glad you've started that, but you go, I still want you to finish it.
Yeah, well done for starting.
Yeah, exactly. You go, but I still want you to finish it. You know what I mean? So there's still a lot of work to do in that regard, and there's still a lot of games to be played just in this batch alone that we're expecting United to win. And I know that maybe a few weeks ago, because we were thinking about Palace from last season, we were going, Selhurst Park, I don't know about that. But context changes things, matches change things, results change things, and now suddenly it does. You know, the perception of the game suddenly feels massively different. I remember before international break, we were going, oh, by the way, when we played Spurs at Old Trafford,
100%
Park last year.
Oh, and you know how bad it was?
Ooh.
We basically earmarked. Well, actually, we sat on this very show, I think it was.
Yeah, going
KG said about
Palace
the 6 games.
Chris,
and I said, I was like,
and
again, I hold my hands up to this because I'm reactionary like this. And it just shows us how, you know, how things can change very, very quickly.
And we still might change again, by the way.
And it might change tomorrow.
Well, we're going to lose
tomorrow.
That
But I remember on this show, I'm sure it was the Trinity, if not at the very least the Flexing.
It's most likely the Trinity.
Yeah, because no, it was actually because we went through the 6 games and I went through it. I went, well, KG, well, you know, Palace away, fancy that right now. See what Liverpool just done to us. Don't fancy that. Porto away. I went Porto away. No, not gonna get. We're gonna lose. Let's be honest. Then we went. Yeah, but still, it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Then it got to then again we went Spurs at the time. We was like, you know, then we went Villa. Forget it. We just went forget that. But actually, when you take a step back, the feeling of those games aren't the same. Even though the games haven't happened yet. The feeling already is different because you're asking me after Liverpool when I was down and thinking, nah. But really, I'm changing my opinion or how I feel because we've smashed Barnsley in League One and beat Southampton, who are bottom of the league. That's the truth.
No, but then again, you're like, it's just kind of knowing that what the players that you rate in this team.
Well, and the players are the same as that as well. You mentioned that about yourself there, Flex. I think the players will probably be the same. If you asked them after Liverpool, how are you feeling? Pretty shitty, to be honest.
Yeah.
After a couple of good... Ask Marcus Rashford how he was feeling after like the Liverpool game. How are you feeling, Rashi? I ain't got a goal yet this season. I should have had a couple of assists or whatever. Well, he's scored 3 goals in 2 games and he's got a couple of assists as well. And now if you ask him, how are you feeling going into the Palace game? I feel all right.
I think players are delusional. So there's a part of them that believes that they're gonna turn up. Like to wear the red of United is not easy with all the eyes. And you could see like, do you reckon Onana's belief dipped when he let him? It didn't. These players.
I don't think last season he had a crisis of confidence.
He had a crisis of confidence. That was coming to a new league, and it all went to. Literally, it just all like Champions League was on him. He spent most of that campaign apologizing to the players, you know. So he realized, but Onana now, I don't think he's doubting himself. Onana now, you heard how he spoke after the Southampton one. He's like, I'm just so happy for the lads. I'm happy for Rashford because I think there's characters in the team. When De Ligt comes on, you can hear how De Ligt is organizing in that voice. We're starting. Well, and this is hope as well, but we're starting to people or voices, loud voices, who are really starting to put themselves in a place of leadership. And I think De Ligt is going to be one of those. You could already tell that, well, we know what Lissandro is, and I think it's going to continue. And that's why you're getting, Eric keeps saying, I've got a good bunch now. And I hope that's true, but we're starting to see some of it on the pitch because they do look like friends. And Rio's talked about getting to training and seeing smiles on the face of Rashi, who doesn't smile a lot anyway, in Carrington. That's a big deal if Rio's saying that and he don't have to, you know what I mean? But that's the energy that Rashi's showing, and you see that Ahmad, there's a youthfulness and a excitement about this squad. I hope it turns into something.
Ten Hag should say he's got a good bunch because they're his players. I mean, this is the other thing that we said, isn't it? Is that there's no excuses. There's no excuses. There's no hiding. He's been backed in the transfer market. You got to deliver. Again, I don't think that it's like everything's fine. I think the jury's still out when it comes to all that because, again, it's a couple of games and naturally people will be looking at that Southampton game going, okay, but I can't really forget about the first 30. It was a rough 30. Everyone saw it. Flex nearly lost his mind in the last 30 minutes, first 30 minutes against Southampton. That can't happen. If that, put it this way, if that happens against Palace tomorrow, they score. They score in that first 30 minutes.
That's what I mean.
Happens.
We can't do
so,
that.
So you know what I mean? So that's why it's a Marcellism, but that's why you can't get too carried away and you can't get too negative at the same time, because we're still in that kind of, well, we're not really sure. And is there that trust yet with these players, and that they're gonna show up, they're gonna deliver. But what they can do, to KG's point, and what it's all about, just get results, keep it going, and then if you win games, hopefully the performances will come as part of that. And to be fair, the one thing I will agree with people in is that if you do look at quite a lot of the sort of underlying metrics versus last season, there has been an improvement in that regard. It's not a coincidence. I know he scored 7 against the League One side, and people go, "Oh yeah, but it's League One." But you look at the Premier League, we've got one of the highest XGs in the league. We are creating chances, which maybe we weren't doing as much last season. We are conceding fewer shots. We are sort of not dominating the game for like the 90 that I would like to see, or the majority of the game. But we do have a points a better control over it, you feel like. And to KG's point, sort of the wider play feels a bit better. There's still issues with the midfield and stuff like that, but it does feel like in certain areas there is at least an attempt at progression. You know what I mean?
There is, yeah.
But I also did see Coach Cam say this, and it is kind of true when he says that we also have to get out of this kind of like, we sort of baby our team a little bit, in the sense of, we do see these sort of tiny improvements and we go, oh, that's good. That's good. We pressed a little bit there. And you go, well, you're Man United. That should be a prerequisite. You should be all systems go, all systems firing. But I guess that's where we're kind of coming from, is that we've got to try and build it up.
It's just taken us a while to get into our rhythm and form, and it's taken them time to be able to play the system and to be comfortable, like what he was asking for. Remember when we was talk first in the last season, we couldn't even get into phase 1 of passing the ball around. Remember, I said we can't get to phase 2 where we lose the ball from.
Even now, but again, that was only a couple of games ago though as well, because we were doing that against Liverpool a lot.
Yeah. While we did it against Liverpool, I'm saying in the games,
did it against Southampton as well.
In the first half, I know we started decent. Then after we had that 30 minutes of ridiculous, something happened. I think it was the low that it started.
And then started bad straight away.
But then we had one thing we all agree is the scars that we have as fans. Some of the players in that team still have those mental scars of it all goes wrong and they don't know what to do. They're good players, but mentality can't manage.
So that's what I said earlier on when you mentioned those players, like you said, Onana or Rashford. That's why I know that as a United player, it should be like, I've got complete self-confidence. I don't give a shit what other people say. But to your point, They do, and they do. Like you said, they do have, everyone associated has those kind of like scars or that fragility. And you're right. In the first 30 minutes against Southampton, you did see a team that was terrified of what could happen coming out of that Liverpool game, being like, we cannot lose this game, or we cannot screw things up. And ironically enough, they were screwing it up by being so sort of timid and tepid. 100%. But they're so confidence-based that when they do win a game or a couple of games, then suddenly go, like us fans, they go, oh, things are all right, maybe. Things are all okay. I guess things are okay. So that's why you just got to win games. Exactly. And just keep building confidence that way.
We've seen it. Our confidence has been rock bottom.
Flex. We focus on, sometimes as fans, though, we do focus on the bad minutes other than the controlling, like, because in that second half of that game, they never had a shot. They never had nothing. They could literally do nothing. Man United fully took control after that 35 minutes, and it was their control.
We deserve to win that game.
Yeah, easily. I said it to Owen. I said this on one of the morning shows, didn't I? I said that obviously it got the MUTV. So when you watch 90 and 20, when they do the condensed highlights, but it's a lot longer than normal highlights. Gives you a really, obviously it's time permitting, but sometimes I watch them on the train or whatever just to go back and say, okay, so what really? Because when you watch things back, it's exactly what you just said there. The scoreline and the total outcome is kind of the only thing that matters. I get it. Like, oh, you lost, no problem. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, if you look at what we did in those moments in the game, and looked at, well, actually, there were spells of stuff we want to see. There was some good parts of what we want to do. There was some instructions being followed. That if we just didn't make that mistake in that point, look, they conceded a goal. We conceded a goal from that, but before that, everything was fine. Now that's not. You can't take that and say that's why everything's okay. That's why we're good. You can't do that.
Yeah.
But what you can do is say, right, well, now I've seen a bigger sample size of what that game actually looked like. You're right. Let's look at the things that we did good. And even in the games where we won, like you said there, like you go, actually, yeah, there was a lot of good patterns. Like we broke them down. We did this, we did that. Ahmad looks really good. Do you know what? Yeah, he's doing well. Look at Mazraoui. I tell you what, yeah, you get a different perception of it. So it is true. But then it's just hard because we're stuck between a rock and a hard place where we're going, you know what? We want to get better so quickly, but we can't.
And you don't want to get too carried away because you know what could be around the corner. So this is like this sort of, again, sort of trepidation.
I say to the fans, enjoy it, man. Like, it doesn't matter. Like,
well, not to say not to enjoy it, because that was what happened on Tuesday, wasn't it? We won 7-0. Yeah. We won 7-0, and people were like, "Oh, you can't believe you're celebrating." Why not? You won the game 7-0. You scored 7 goals. Yeah. Now, again, there's limits, so you don't win that game and be like, "Right, we've won the league. We're going to win the cup. We're going this. We're going to that." No, you can be like, "Well, you can win. You don't win 7-0 and be like, "Oh, we played rubbish tonight." You know, and also the game against Southampton, like you are right in the sense you score 3 goals, deserve to win that game overall. You can be happy with that. You can. It's just, again, it's how far you take it. And also, again, on the other side of it, you don't get too downtrodden. You don't be like, oh, we won. You know what I mean? Or be like, oh, it's terrible that we won. That's just a bit much, isn't it? You know, again, enjoy it. We all enjoyed our weekend last weekend, did we not?
It was great. And we won another one because Forest lost. Sorry, Forest beat Liverpool. Fantastic. And Forest is a relegation side. And like they will, I
don't know about that.
I don't know about that. Forest have started very well.
They're not relegation.
No, they've been higher
than us. The 7th.
Sorry, the point I meant to say they've been a relegation side, right? And they'll probably be fighting. You never know how the season really turns out and what they're going to be getting through near the end of the season. But they went and got a big result at Liverpool, and Liverpool you heard them start to talk about challenging for the title and champions and all this kind of talk. That was a big surprise. Look, Man United, there is just something about, because we haven't even spoken about, but Garnacho's form and what Garnacho's doing is impressive. You know, Ahmad is looking like the answer to the right hand side. I know we're so afraid to give someone to give someone that title. That's one thing we've been really reserved of saying, well, who's the answer to the right hand side? We've been looking for him since.
You've been asking the question long enough, KG.
You know, but hopefully, like you want to bestow that upon him and say you are the answer to the right hand side, and we are good
KG,
now.
He currently is.
I have a question for you, and you've been known as the reckless guy. You know, some crazy takes. Shameless, I believe, is a phrase that's been used before.
Yes.
This weekend, Super Sunday, is Man City versus Arsenal. Okay.
I hate both these teams.
Well, no, I'm not going. If Man City win the game, Arsenal would be on 10 points, right? If Man United beat Crystal Palace, we would be on 9 points. We would be 1 point behind Arsenal. What kind of reaction would you have to that in terms of having that conversation with Arsenal? Because I know you don't like, obviously, Arsenal fans, but at the same time, you said you understood the pushback previously about the Man City thing and all that. You know, just what would that say to you?
I've got to be honest. I've got to give Arsenal some credit where it's due. They've had some. They've actually impressed me with what's happened. They've lost some players. They lost Erdegaard, didn't have Rice, this, that, and the other, and they've gone to the North London derby, impressed. And then that game against Atalanta is not easy as well. They came out there with a draw. This was the making. Everyone was saying, well, this is how good is Arteta. So he's got one final hurdle. So I think if he passes this one, I can't focus on Arsenal as much as I want to.
So you're telling me, if Man United, at the end of the weekend, if Man United are a point behind Arsenal with how loud they have been for the last couple of years, you're saying to me that you won't be like, only a point.
I think that's a prerequisite of me, to be honest. You already know, like, that's
that's the answer, yeah.
You know that you already know what I'm potentially can do. But I kind of need a draw in that game because I don't want I hate City. Let's be honest. Like, they're getting on my nerves as well.
They're
City's
going to
finding
get
a way of
expelled. They're going to get expelled, mate. They're on trial.
The 5p is crazy. The
They're on
5p
trial.
yeah, I just hate the fact that they could do something. You know, even you even
They've already done something no one's already done. Already.
I hear it, but then there's this. Well, hopefully now their trial started and stuff. That we can like erase some of their titles, or we can say they're blemished. You know what I mean? I'll be definitely doing that.
It's sort of happening It's sort of happening independently to everything else, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a way on its own.
Yeah. Hoping for that, but then it is very concerning that I'm hearing they haven't lost a home game in the Champions League in 5 years or something like that. They're ridiculous. And if they get another Champions League or something,
Real Madrid beat them
at home
On pens.
Oh, in 90 minutes. All right.
Yeah. So it's like these guys are just, you want it. It's scary, innit? They're like, and you think to yourself, geez, because we get so nervous. Think about it. When the season comes, we get into this Real Madrid support because only Real Madrid can save us from the juggernaut of Man City. And it's like, that doesn't feel like it's going away. And if they get another Champions League, it's going to get even more. It's already difficult to talk to them already. Another Champions League? Oh.
Do you know what actually that did kind of like break my heart a little bit? I don't know if you've seen this. Sir Alex did an interview with BBC and he was talking about how, you know, he says, I do kind of miss it, you know, being a manager. And he said, I said to my his late wife, the first year after he retired, he was like, this is what I do miss, the big European nights, big European games at Manchester United. Yeah. And then I started thinking about, I haven't been many of them. Really,
no,
never many. He must have been when we
Barnsley in the cup, mate.
He must have thought. I was thinking that must have been when we were playing Bayern. That's in David Moyes' season, like
David Moyes'
but like
season,
our big European nights post Fergie have been like 2 Europa League finals.
That's it. And then he was like, that's why he's been to all the finals, like all the European finals. He still goes because he's like,
he misses that feeling.
Yeah, he misses it, man. He misses it. Poor guy, like poor Sir Alex, like watching, what he got us, competing for and doing, and like you said,
regular every season
that we've been
quarter, semis,
big European nights under the lights, mate. Now it's just Europa settings, mate.
Yeah,
simple. That's how it goes.
Sorry to end on a negative note, man. That sucks.
Well, not this season because we're going to get in the top 4 and win the Europa League.
Thank you. That's better.
Yes, 100%, and get trophies, 100%, because trophies matter.
Yes.
With Marcus Rashford's 25 goals, KG.
It's got 3 already. So there you go. The clock started ticking.
Pad.
Yeah. Wait, did you say all comps? Or did you say what did you even say? You don't know, dude.
I said all comps.
All comps.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well,
it's a lot of comps.
3 down. There you go. All right, guys. Big up to everyone watching. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Episode 31 done. We'll see you tomorrow for the game. Of course, I'll be in UVHQ. Marcel will be in UVHQ as well. Owen will be live a couple of hours before the game. He'll hand over to myself, and then I'll hand it back to Owen for the full-time view as well.
And I ask people to do something as well. You know what I'm saying? 40K by my birthday. So I'm on 43,000. You lot, man, pull up. I need you lot to pull up. I need 1,000 people strong from this community. There's so many here. Come support your boy, man. Go hit the
more.
thing.
Well, more.
What did you say by your birthday?
40. Wait, what did I say? I'm chatting shit. 50K by my birthday.
I was gonna say. I was gonna say you're 40K by my 40K by my birthday. I'm on 43. I'm
thinking about being 40. Sorry, 50K by my birthday. Yeah. So
whilst we're doing those targets, then I'm aiming for 20K by the end of the year. I'm on 80.
Guys, these are just it's not even like, oh, can you please get that done vibe, guys. Yeah, come on, support. You guys can do it. You know you can do it. The links are in the video description.
About 5% of support that watch this channel. Just give 5% of support for me and Owen. We're lit.
100%. Get it done, guys. You lot know what it is. Go and get it done right now. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are out of it. Take care. Peace.